Welcome to another exciting edition of Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And for anybody new to the channel, we do this, try to do it every single Saturday. We try to put up a BOLO video so that you can find some things out there, get some tips on things to look for as the garage sales and the flea markets really heat up. I know I go to those quite regularly. I sell out of my house. I've got 40,000 items listed on eBay and Amazon, and here to help anybody that's in the same predicament as I am.
And I'm Mr. Magazine with 500,000 items, a big warehouse, and 15 employees.
So why don't you take it away? What treasures do we have this week?
First up, He-Man Masters of the Universe, Faker figure. So this one is unopened. It's original vintage. I took a $750 offer on this. I paid about $400 or $500 for it, but I've had it up for a while. So not that I paid high, but I thought, the norm was $1,000. It was up for a while. So, but even this figure loose is probably $50 in mint condition. So you'll see these definitely at some garage sales. Maybe not unopened, but if you do, all the more power to you.
So that's from the 80s?
Yes.
What's a rule of thumb, what's the cheapest 1980s Masters of the Universe He-Man figure on card?
On card, it's got to be $500.
Okay, so if you can find any of them out there, I mean, even if they're asking $40, $50 a piece, buy them.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it depends on condition, obviously.
Right.
This is a higher grade, so they're probably going to send it out to get graded, but, even a few $100 in poor condition.
Okay, so if you could find a creased up one out there for $40, $50, pick it up.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, next up. Finally, yes!
It got paid for?
It's sold and got paid for. Woo! Yu-Gi-Oh! Joey Red Eyes, you guys probably seen this for the last month or two. 3 times someone won it and didn't pay for it. Finally, it got paid for. So
that's awesome.
Very happy
Can I
there.
ask one quick question about that?
Sure.
Have they put in a return yet?
Not yet, no. But maybe so. Who knows? It was from Canada. He had low
boy.
He had low feedback, so I contacted eBay and I said, I want to make sure, how do you recommend we send this out? And we're all set, good to go, and we're covered. So,
nice.
Very nice. Next up, with the comic theme, movie theme, Ninja Turtles. This was a 9.6 early first print, issue number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So this one I took a $600 offer on. I didn't pay much for it. I sent it out to get graded. It came back very high. So
now, was that part of the Ohio haul, or is that a different deal?
This was part of the Ohio haul, correct? Yes.
Yep. And anybody that doesn't know, every once in a while we reference it. I believe it's. I know we have a video up about it. Just take a look for it. It's got the Penske trucks in the background, and you'll see the logistics to go into a really big deal. A lot of fun. Mm-hmm. You'll see a lot of neat things in there. So if you haven't checked that one out, definitely do so.
Yeah. And I got some leftover pieces from Ohio coming in today. I think about 1,200 more monster items. So we'll have those up sooner or later.
Nice.
All right, this was from a different deal. Some high-grade bronze I picked up a few longs maybe 6 months ago. Sent this out, came back in 9.2. With the movie coming, it's $337.
What is it again?
Eternals #1.
9.2 CGC
yeah.
graded. Nice.
So yeah, if you get 9.6, 9.8, you're talking thousands of dollars. So.
And those are hot with the movie.
Yeah, and these are out.
Or...
These are out there. Even raw, if in VG shape, is going to be $100. Yeah. Wow. So very cool. All right.
Those used to be $1 box things.
Yeah. They still could be with the sellers not knowing. So keep an eye out at those sales. All right. This was kind of cool. I bought a big sign collection from a local landowner. He was renting it out, and a bunch of kids left these behind. So I bought them from him.
Pi Kappa Phi College fraternity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I took $200 for this. I shot a little high. I shot it at 300 to see where it would stick, and I didn't pay that much for it. So for 200, I'm a happy camper.
And this was one that I know you had talked about on a prior video where you actually reached out to eBay to make sure that you were allowed to sell this sort of thing, because back in the old days you couldn't.
Right, their rules have changed since then. I guess whoever owns it is the owner at this point. Where in the past, it could have been a city or town or something like that. But yeah, they definitely gave the green light on all the signs we have.
Yep. But that's a good lesson out there. If you ever do have any questions, do contact eBay. They will let you know. And one thing that I would suggest at that point, too, potentially would be letting them know, hey, can you put this in the record that we talked about this? So that way, let's say that they came back after the fact and said, you're not allowed to sell that.
Yeah, we always do that, yeah.
You can say, well, okay, I'll take it down. I'm sorry, don't ding my account because I checked beforehand.
Exactly, yeah, for sure. All right, this is kind of cool. I bought a HO Train Collection, sight unseen, from a gentleman on the website about 6 months ago, and they were sitting around finally got around to listing them, and there were some rare engines. This one was a 4664, which I believe is the wheels, how they're set up. Challenger, AHM, metal body. So it went for, I think, the $200. Yeah, so very cool.
And no box or anything, or was there a box?
It's an original box.
Original
Yeah,
box,
that's it
okay.
right there. Yeah, it's a 2-piece set, engine and tender. So pretty cool. We had a couple like that, similar ones, but they almost paid for the whole collection without even knowing. Like I said, I bought him sight unseen. He had so many pieces, I paid so much a piece. Yeah.
See, and that's one thing that I know a lot of people don't do. A lot of people will say they go through everything, this and that, this and that. I know I buy a fair number of things sight unseen from people that I've dealt with before. If it's not a lot of money, take the chance, in my opinion.
Right.
Because, okay, worst case, you're flushing your money down the toilet. But, obviously you wouldn't go and spend $50,000 sight unseen.
Right.
But if you're picking up what potentially seems like a good deal, try it. And,
Yeah.
and I've referenced before that there's a gentleman who sells me magazines. He does list what they are. I literally don't look at his list. I just simply send him the money. He sends me a PayPal invoice once a month, and I send him the money. If there's a problem, he stood behind the stuff afterwards. Something's incomplete or whatever, because he doesn't want to burn me on that. And if he sends me, could he 1 month not send me anything and I'm out $200? Sure, it could happen. I just will never deal with him again.
Right. Yeah.
So sometimes you just have to trust in people a little bit. And yeah, we've been burned before on things, but not very, very rarely versus how often it works out.
For sure. Next up, Thundercats. Now, I believe a movie's set to be made for this. So, funny story behind this. I bought a huge collection of Bronze Age comics, modern, in bulk, about 2 years ago. And there was 10, 20 of certain issues. This issue, there was about 60 of them. So, the easiest way to list 60 Thundercats would be Amazon quantity.
Yes.
So, we did that a year or two ago. I think we had 60 of them on there. Sold one here or there. And then there was a red flag about a week ago where I sold 5 in one day for $50. So I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, wow, that's pretty good money. Cool. Then one the next day. And I go, you know what? Let me just look into this comic because it's very weird that I sell 6 for $50 within a day or two.
Right.
Come to find out, on eBay they're selling for $200 to $300. So guess what I did? I ended them all. I set them aside. I'm going to get the top. I think I have 55 of them left. So I'm going to get the top 5 graded, and the rest we put up on eBay. One sold for $200, one sold for $260, and then that's how we're going to list them from now on. So the mistake made was like, Amazon didn't catch up with the pricing yet, and I was the lowest one there. And everyone else I looked where it's $200 and $300. So we put some on Amazon for the higher prices, and then we'll do some
I guess
on
the
eBay.
advantage that you had was that $50 is a high enough price that nobody could bring the noise and buy 60.
Right.
If they had bought all 60 of them, they would have gotten a heck of a deal.
Oh, yeah. And I was happy because I paid $1 a piece in bulk, so. But yeah, definitely if you see these out there, they're grading for high grade thousands of dollars, and we do have some already out being submitted that should come back high grade.
And that was a toy line too, correct?
Yes.
So you'll see Thundercats toys and that sort of thing out there.
And a lot of sorry, go ahead.
Worth picking those up. Yep.
In the Star Comics from Marvel, I think they're all good at this point. I mean, I think you got He-Man was in there. The Star Wars droids and Ewoks were in there, so it's a good line. Anything Star Comics from Marvel.
If they're licensed.
Right.
You got Royal Roy, good luck to you. You know how I know that?
You have a bunch.
I have Royal Roy.
Oh, good for you. All right.
Anybody who wants Royal Roy, let me know.
For sure.
Say that 5 times fast. Royal Roy.
So I got
I sound like Scooby-Doo. Row. Row.
You don't look like him. He's actually good looking.
You look more like Shaggy.
Yeah, exactly. You need a bag on your baggie. Anyways, moving on. Good customer of mine brought these in, and I don't really deal with this stuff. I don't know anything about leprechauns. I know they're kind of popular.
Oh, these are...
They're all leprechauns. And they're all little mini pewter figures. But I did buy them from him and made decent money. They were up for a while. I think I took a $150 offer, which is about $3 a piece. I probably paid $50 for them. But, we got to move them out and move on. So, very cool. If you see leprechauns out there in any shape or form, I would grab them, sell them in lots.
Or you could follow them for their Lucky Charms.
That would be nice, yeah. All right. That's all I got. Paper goes up.
So we've talked about it before. Everybody knows it happens. You tend to get a bump when someone passes on. And unfortunately, the great DMX. You want me to do some DMX reps?
Not on a live show, no.
That's true. We'd probably get copyright infringement.
Exactly.
So don't want to risk that. He unfortunately passed away, and this was the only item of his that I had, but it did sell. Didn't even know that I actually had it. I'd picked up a bunch of the XXL hip-hop magazines back, 2017. So 4 years ago, I bought a lot for, I don't know, $2 a piece on eBay, something or other like that. And I just looked in the box because when this sold, there's only one other one left. So I picked up 12 to 15 of them and sold through all of them but one.
Cool.
So, and I know you had mentioned when I had said that I had sold some DMX stuff, you had said that you had sold a lot of his
Yeah, a bunch of
albums.
records. Yeah, probably a dozen records. Yeah, singles, so forth. Yeah.
And speaking of the bump, another great rapper, Prince Philip, recently passed. And this has also been up since 2017. So anybody whose stuff I bought in 2017,
Jeez.
Canada welcomes the royal couple, 1951, Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. And this is almost like a window decal, I think I would say. And that's why the picture looks so poor. There's actually a piece of semi... it's almost
That
like
wax paper almost.
Yeah,
or something,
exactly, right over it. And so I left it as it was. And the picture doesn't look great, but that's the way that it was. And it ended up selling as well. So just letting you know that definitely when someone does pass on, their items do sell. The next item we have up over here, Peruvian Times, December 13th, 1957, Vanguard rocket explosion, etc., etc. Have you had a lot of Peruvian Times in your day?
I think 0. Yeah.
I had 6.
Oh, cool.
All 6 of them sold to the same person.
Oh, nice.
And that's the beauty of having a lot of something or other up that is uncommon.
Right.
The person saw it, bought one of them, made me an offer on it. I think I ended up selling them for $20 a piece for all 6. Contacted me and said, hey, you got 5 more of them up. I just bought this one. What price are you willing to give me on the rest of them?
Yeah.
So I ended up working the price out. He made the offers through eBay, and they all sold.
Cool.
So that's just one of those, on these oddball items, you will sell them all to one person. Because, again, this person's probably been looking for a long time for Peruvian Times. Not the easiest magazine or item to find. Next thing we have up over here, Pan Missouri Medical Association, Dr. J.M. Harris, African American 1910s print. This actually is from a book. And I don't usually do a lot with prints and photos and all that kind of thing, but I saw this at an auction and said, that's an African American doctor from turn of the century.
Yeah, very cool.
I know that it's going to have some value, and I think I ended up taking $15 on it, but literally it was removed from a book.
Yeah.
It did take a little bit of research to find out the dates and all that kind of stuff on it. But definitely when you see African-American professionals from turn of the century, pick them up. They
Very
do
cool.
sell. There are a lot of collectors of that sort of thing, and they are fairly uncommon items. Next item we have over here, speaking of great African-American people, Ebony Magazine, May 1968, sold for $44.
Wow, in that condition.
In that condition. And that
Wow.
was my point. It's a loaded issue. It's got Martin Luther King Jr. and it's got Jimi Hendrix and Sonny Liston in it. And I think there was somebody else really good in it as well that couldn't make the cut. So it was a great thing.
Wow.
But, again, if you read the condition, mailing label removed, some paper damage, long tear up spine, tears at staples, rough shape, $44. In nicer shape, it's probably a $70, $80, $100 magazine.
Yeah.
Definitely something other to keep your eyes out there when you're looking. You will find this issue out there. It is out there. Even if the household threw all of the other issues away, this one they would save.
Yeah.
Things with Kennedy on it would save. So these are out there. Definitely worth picking up, and now you have an idea of the price. Next item we have up over here. That looks like a great item, doesn't it?
Sure, yeah.
Religious Inquirer, bound volume, February 21st, October 10th, 1829. Early item. It's a bound volume. The only negative on this I had to go through, in fact, that's why I said see below for the condition, because you get down over here, title page missing, some Fox, complete to 260, has pages, which means other pages are missing,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. None of these I could find out there. I priced it at $131, got an offer of $100 on it. I had another year's as well. Person offered me $100 on that as well.
Nice.
Then I had another bound volume of a different title. They offered me $100 on that. So $300 sale. Very, very happy to make it. They were buying some obscure type magazines. I did a fair amount of research. Couldn't find anything on it. But when I was going through it, again, it's not in the greatest of shape, missing pages, et cetera, et cetera. And I did, when I was paging through it to check for completeness, I was looking to see if there was any outstanding content.
Right.
And there didn't see anything outstanding, so I was more than happy to get $100 out of it. And this is kind of another interesting thing. They had this and the other year at the sale. This was the sale that I referenced when we were on Auction Professor, where I paid $6 a book.
Yeah.
One of these they had priced at $30. I paid the $30 on it with a little bit of a discount. The other, they had no price on it, so it was $6.
Wow, nice.
You know, little tip, the one was priced at $30, had the sticker right on it. The other had no price on it. Now, I was buying a big box of stuff. It was not priced. In no way did I do anything wrong,
Right.
but I separated the two.
Yeah.
I took the $6 one, the one that was unpriced, and put it at the bottom of the box with the other unpriced items,
Yeah.
and then put the priced item off to the side. Did they mean to price it at $30? Maybe, I don't know. They
Right.
were in two different areas, so maybe they weren't aware they were the same type thing.
Right.
But if I'd put them side by side, they could have gone one of two ways. They could have said, oh, this is 30, this is the same type book, this is also 30.
Right.
Or they could have said, why is this priced at 30, this one's 6, this one's
Right.
6.
Yeah.
I said, I don't want to risk either one. I'm not going to do anything wrong because I'm not going to remove price stickers or anything
Right.
like that, but I'm going to separate the two.
Yeah.
And I'm more than willing to pay $30 on one and $6 on the other. I don't want
Right.
to risk paying $60 on the two
Yeah.
and hope to pay $12 on the two.
Yeah.
So
You paid right in the middle of the average.
paid right in the middle of the average, and again, that's what they were priced at as well.
Yeah.
So kind of a little tip there, though. Kind of move like apart if they are priced the same. Put all the same price things together type deal. Next item we have over here, you're a lot better at
Yeah.
pronouncing Irish than I am. Sharon?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sure.
Shaw Ram,
Illustrated Matt Morgan 1879 play program, Irish Fenian Movement. And this is one of those cases, I ended up getting $100 out of it.
Wow.
And take a look at the condition on that. It's all
Yeah.
folded up, got tears around it, et cetera, et cetera. This is a case where it looked like nothing. I picked it up in an auction back in 2019. Looked like nothing. It literally was just sitting in a
Yeah.
box lot. I looked at it and I said, this is odd. I've never seen a play program like this because it's actually a newspaper
Yeah.
type. But it is indeed a play program. So then I probably spent 15, 20 minutes doing research on it, figuring out what the play was, what it was about, et cetera, et cetera. Irish Fenian movement, did a lot of research on it. And that's one of those situations where me as a small seller has the ability to do that.
Right.
You couldn't pay your people to do that. It
No.
wouldn't be worth your time for them to do it because, yes, this one paid off, and I mentioned Irish Fenian movement, et cetera, et cetera. What if they spent 15 minutes and they weren't able to
Yeah.
come across that? You've paid them 15 minutes
Right.
for nothing additional.
Yeah. I mean, if we know it's going to sell for 100, like almost a guaranteed sale, then it's worth the 15 minutes because, you're going to make $100 in the back end regardless of how long it takes. But it's a crapshoot.
And especially with this folded down looking
Right.
the way that it looks, it's
Yeah.
just,
It looks like they fold it where they're swatting flies with it. See how they got
they
the.
may have been.
Yeah.
So if this were in a box lot that came into Mr. Magazine, where would this end up at?
The scared pile.
The scared pile. Exactly. And I don't blame them. The next one we got over here, Jack Dempsey Boxing Champion Original Comic Art, Link Leonard.
Oh, cool.
Now, Link Leonard is an actual comic artist. He did a comic strip, and I cannot remember the name off the top of my head. But it's got some damage on it, as you can see, up over in the corner. It's got... there
You
we
get
are.
this from Heritage?
Yep, I was going to say, this is where we are... The Heritage stuff, every week I seem to be bringing you one item that's sold out of Heritage. And this sold. It's a really, really neat item. I took a $100 offer on it, made some money on that at that. This kind of jumped out at me, though, in the lot. And I
Yeah.
said, I have to get that lot. And I ended up getting a pretty good deal on the lot. So I kind of like to take you all on the journey as I am pivoting a little bit more towards some artwork and that kind of thing, and learning along the way. And hopefully
Sure.
you're learning some stuff as well. If you do see the original art out there, it's worth picking up. Quick little insider tip. And I still don't believe it, but I've seen these things sell. What did everybody do in kindergarten and first grade in art class?
Paint, draw,
And what did your mom do with these things?
throw them out.
Okay, well, your mom was a lot meaner than mine.
At some point.
Your
So
mom was a lot meaner than
maybe
mine.
for a couple years, and when I got older, then she threw them out.
But where do a lot of parents exhibit the art at? On the refrigerator.
Oh, yeah.
They take it and they put it up on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Well, your mom was mean.
Yeah,
I thought my mom was
I was a
bad.
pretty good artist too.
Yeah, that's what I hear. But some parents, after they get that one in the refrigerator, they take it down at some point, but they actually save it. Believe it or not, there's a market for children's art done in school.
Up to what year? It can't be like 10 years ago. It's got to be vintage.
Yeah, obviously it's vintage, right? But I saw a lot, and it was, I don't know, 20 pieces of kids' art that would have been done in school.
Yeah.
And it went for like $2 to $3 a piece.
Wow.
So you're talking $40, $50 that these 20 pieces
You can sell anything.
that some kid did back in 1948.
Yeah. Wow.
The beauty of knowing that is if you go into estates, you can find that kind of thing. Or you got some guy that does clean-outs. He's going to have that there. He is going to put no value on it.
Yep.
I wouldn't necessarily buy just that item. You'll find them together. They'll be in a folder is what will end up happening. Buy a few other things and go, I don't know, I need this whole pile. And he's going to open it up and look at that and go, throwing that in.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be looking at the other things. So you can end up getting it free and getting 40, 50, 60 bucks. Figure a couple dollars a piece out of it. It's one of a kind, obviously. But we're not talking it's Pablo Picasso's children's art.
Right.
We're talking it's,
Random.
little Susie up the street that drew it. So
Wow.
it's amazing. If I hadn't seen it sell, I would not believe it. But it sold at auction, and there were multiple bidders. So it wasn't just one person. There are multiple people bidding out there.
Jeez.
Good luck to you finding it, but you can find it out there. And the last thing we have over here, speaking of art, into my pivot, don't look at the title unless you already have. Who drew that?
Boy's Life.
Norman Rockwell. That does not look like Norman Rockwell art. Does not look like his later stuff.
Right.
His first job, I believe he was 18 years old, was drawing for Boy's Life. I think I took $110 on that.
Is his name on the cover?
Nope.
No? Okay, wow.
It did actually say down here on the table of contents. It did actually say it, but I had no idea. I picked this up at the Scotty Hall that we have talked about a number of times. They had a big pile of Boy's Life, and they wanted a fair amount of money for them, $10 a piece. It was second day of the sale. I think I ended up working out a deal where I picked them up for $4 because I took all of them type deals. I had zero idea that this was Norman Rockwell, none whatsoever. I listed a bunch of Boy's Life. Another little tip, if you do find them out there from the teens and the 20s, they're very, very good. They do sell.
And who would have known that Wayne Newton, when he was a child, liked chicken bones?
That's true. I think that's an ice cream cone. I don't know what
Is
the
it?
heck
Oh,
that. I don't know what
well.
that is. I have zero idea. Maybe it's a microphone. I don't know what's going on with Norman Rockwell. Actually, his first piece of art that he sold commercially is a Boy's Life cover with a sailor on it. 1912, I believe. November 1912, I believe. If you find that, I was not able to find any of those out there. I would have asked $500 on
sure.
it, $1,000 on it.
Definitely,
I mean, who knows?
Right.
Difficult item.
Wow.
But he also was art director for Boy's Life back around that time as well. It was his first job.
Nice.
So, again, everybody knows the famous Norman Rockwell, pictures. The baseball and the this and the that. Believe it or not, he did start somewhere, and this was some of his early work, and you can find it out there. And they may not have noted that it was because, again, this does not look like it. His name's not on there. He didn't do his normal signature, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully that helps you out there, and we will see you next video. Do comment down below about your great finds, especially if anything we have helped you. We do answer all comments, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.